Hello and welcome to So Do You Like Beauty. If you're interested in looking just like this evil Jafar from Disney's Aladdin, stay tuned because I will show you step by step on how to achieve this fabulous look. Let's get started. So my face is primed, I'm wearing my contacts, I have my hair braided, and I am ready to put some makeup on. But before I do that, our next step is to get rid of my eyebrows. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to use a disposable spoolie, and as you can see there, and I'm going to brush my eyebrows smooth. And once it's smooth, I'm going to use this Elmer's glue here and glue my eyebrows back. So let me show you step by step how I'm going to do this. Using that Elmer's glue in a circular motion, just get that glue in there really good. When it's wet, it's going to stay purple, and then when it dries, it clears up, so that's an easy indicator for you guys. Once you get that glue really good in there, take that spoolie brush and just smooth it down and brush the hairs of your eyebrows really nice and smooth in the way it's growing, just as you see here. And then what you're going to do is repeat that same process on the other eyebrow. Just get that glue in there really good. You want it every single little millimeter in there, and then repeat that process. You just get that spoolie brush and brush that nice and smooth, and then we're going to let it dry. Now that your eyebrows are dry, they are no longer tacky and they're smooth to the touch. The next step we are going to take is put some setting powder on here. I'm using Urban Decay's De-Slick powder, and just using the puff that comes with it, and just pat it all over the eyebrows like you see here. And then I am going to show you the next step, because this is going to help set the eyebrows. Once you're done with your setting powder, now you're going to repeat the process of putting the Elmer's glue on, but this time you're going to put it in the direction the hair is growing. We're just going to smooth that down and then let it dry. And then once it's dry, we're going to put the setting powder and repeat this. And I did this about 4 times. And while it's drying, you could also clean excess with a baby wipe. After about 4 layers, you should have some grandpa looking eyebrows like that, but it's going to be a great surface to work on. Next step, I'm going to do some color correction using my NYX color correction palette. What I'm going to do is put some yellow on the eyebrows just to lighten up the eyebrows. The green I'm going to use in my red areas, and then the pink I'm going to use on my brown spots. So as you can see here, I'm using the yellow on my eyebrows to help brighten that. And then next I'm going to use the green on the red parts, like where my acne is, around my nose. And then finally I'm going to put the pink like under my eyes and any brown spots. So now that I have all the color corrector on, I just did a light blending with the Beauty Blender. Next I'm going to put foundation on using my Tarte Shape Tape, and just put it all over my face, blend it out, and that should blend out the colors. So as you can see here, I'm just going to go ahead and blend everything out. Next step I'm going to take is use my concealer. It's Tarte Shape Tape in light, and just put it over my eyebrows and just the other areas, and just lightly blend that in just to make my eyebrows really look lighter and fix any of the color correction there. Also doing this more than one time because it was still really yellow, and also I am putting concealer around my nose, so that way later when I do a contour of my nose, it's just going to be much easier as well. Then what I finally decided to do was add some additional setting powder on top of my eyebrows, just to let it blend in a little bit more, and it actually gives it a better work area to work from as well. Another step I've taken was put some eye primer on my eyes. The eye primer I'm using is Tarte Shape Tape as well, and I just drew that right over my lids and underneath my eyes, just so I have a good foundation to work from. And now that that is all set, we are ready to draw in the eyebrows. So what I'm going to use to draw in my eyebrows is an Anastasia eyebrow pencil and a Nelly gel vegan eyeliner. And what I'm going to do is just get the brush nice and coated, and then I wipe off the excess on a paper towel. So as you can see here, I'm just getting that ready to go. And then the next step is we're just simply going to take our time to draw that all in. And here is a picture of Jafar from Disney's Aladdin, if you don't remember what he looks like. And what I'm using is my eyebrow as a guide to start from and just create a really exaggerated arch. And then I'm actually just making a little kind of stencil or guideline, and then what I'll do is once it's all drawn in, I'm just going to fill it in with eyeliner. So I'm just carefully making a comparison to the drawing itself and just making it as symmetrical as possible. It takes a lot of practice, but it can be done. And I would say it's safe to say this is probably the longest part of the makeup process because I'm just doing my best to keep the eyebrows at a similar angle and just drawing them as close as I can. If for some reason you mess up, it's okay. You have that setting powder on top. It's easy to clean off and just start all over again. And then as you can see, I have a good little foundation to work from, and I'm going to make it like the cartoon again and just focus on starting skinny at the bottom and then making it fat out top, as you can see there, and just really making it as symmetrical as possible. But if for some reason they're not perfectly symmetrical, it's okay. It's like regular people. We don't have symmetrical faces for the most part, so it's all right. It's just a costume. Now that my stencil's all drawn in, I'm going to fill it in with Man-Eater eyeliner from Tarte and just kind of fill in the blanks like you're coloring in a coloring book. And then what I also did was, as I filled it in, I realized I needed to make it a little bit more smoother and fatter, and it's okay. I just added just really light layers onto it until it looked satisfactory to my knowledge. After much patience, here are my evil eyebrows, and we are ready to move on to the next step. We're going to do some contouring. What I'm using is the Makeup Geek Ebony Empress Face Palette in the color Forbidden, and what we're going to do is deepen some of the areas such as the eye area and also outlining the contour for the nose as you see here. But we're going to use this palette a lot because we're going to create some evil deepening in the face. And I'm just making my nose as thin as possible, and then at the ends I'm making a little triangle as you can see here, but again it's all going to be blended out and looking very evil. Using that same color, I'm going to make my eye sockets look a little bit deep. So as you can see, I'm just adding on to where my eyebrows are and making that deepen. The more you make it deep, the more angry you look, and the more angry you look, the more you look like Jafar. Using that mini beauty blender, I'm just blending in some of the harsh lines that I have on my nose and around my eyes. Now we're going to do more cleanup using the concealer and just drawing a nice straight line down the nose. And then once that's done, I'm going to use that mini blender and just blend that in so that way it looks a little less harsh. And once that's nice and clean, we are going to be ready to put on some eyeshadow. Alright, so I'm going to use just a regular little fluffy brush for eyeshadow. And then I'm going to use the color Ouch on my Blood Sugar palette. And I'm just going to put that all around my eye as far as my eyebrows go, and that's just going to be my base color for both eyes, and I'm just going to put it all the way around. And you should have something like this after you put that first layer. Next we're going to use Intravenous on the same palette here. As you can see, it's a darker color, and we're just going to deepen the color even more, focusing on those areas that I'm pointing at. So I'm just going to show you what it looks like, and we'll take it from there. The next color we're going to use is Coma, and we're just going to deepen the eyes even further. Same type of process, but new color. And if you haven't noticed, I'm also letting the color go down my nose just a little bit. Again, it's just to create that exaggeration of a deepened eye and also help extend the nose to make it look a little bit more longer as well. Now we're using a new clean fluffy brush to blend out all of the colors that we just put on my eyes and nose, just to give it a little bit more refined look. And I'm going back with my Makeup Geek palette and using that original skinny brush just to go back in and make those lines look a little bit more sharper around my nose and by my eyes. Now we're using a new angle brush, and we're now contouring the cheeks so we look more like Jafar. He's very skinny in the cheeks, so I'm just creating a right angle on both cheeks and then just blending that in so it looks a little bit more realistic. So that's all I'm doing here, is just creating that contour, and then later we will clean it up, so don't worry if it looks a little bit too dark or too messy. And then I went back with the small beauty blender and just blended out my nose a little bit more because it was driving me nuts. And just with a clean fluffy brush, I'm going to use sugarcane, play with my eyebrow area, just merge that a little. And I'm just going to put a little sugarcane right in the middle of my eyelids. And now it's time for eyeliner, using Tarte Skinny Smolder Eyes in Deep Amethyst. This is just going to be used under the eyes. And because this is Jafar, remember his eyeliner is extremely thick. So I'm just using this again for the under eyes, but I'm making sure this is really nice and thick. And I'm also going to make a wing from this as well. And here is both under eyes lined with the light wing. I'm going to do the top part now using Man Eater, the same eyeliner I used for my eyebrows, and I'm just going to do a nice thick line on top and then merge that with the bottom wing. Adding just a little bit of mascara to make the eyes look more bold. I'm using their Real by Benefit and just putting a light coat on. Using that same concealer that I used earlier, I'm going to use it to clean up my under eyes, around my areas such as like over my lip and under the contour to make it pop out a little bit more. Also going to do over my eyebrows, and then blend everything out with a mini beauty blender. And just to give my eyebrows a little bit more dimension, I'm gonna add a little bit more of this on the edges right here. Just to give my eyebrows more dimension and depth. Make me look more angry. And I'm just contouring around my edges of my face to give my face a sharper look. And I'm also going to do around my forehead and my temples as well. Using the same eyeliner and brush that I used for my eyebrows, I am now drawing my facial hair, just starting from my nostrils, working my way down. It's a very symmetrical kind of goatee, very thin, and I'm just looking at the picture as well, but again, just using that reference. And if you do mess up, it's easy to clean up, or you could just add little strokes to make it look like actual hair. Didn't show this part on camera, but I made a felt beard and then I glued it on with Duo eyelash glue and just waited till it's tacky, then put it on. But I wanted to look as cartoony as possible. So there's my beard. Getting close to the end, guys, so I'm gonna white out my lips with Kat Von D whiteout, as my lips are really red and big, and I'm just gonna put that right over my lips, as you can see here. And then after that, I'm going to apply NYX Lingerie in the color Cheekies just in the middle of my lips, so it could merge any bright red on my lips with that nice nude color. And here is the final look with the costume. I'm just doing a little bit of adjustment. If you're curious about the costume itself, I actually got the majority of the components on eBay, like the costume, the headpiece, the little Iago, and I just had to do a little bit of custom sewing on a few bits and pieces, like that white bit of fabric. I just had to cut that out, add that on, and glue on Iago. Most of these pieces were from eBay. I did get a few things off of Amazon, such as my undershirt and my gloves, but I just assembled it all together. So here's that final look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, maybe inspire you to do something for Halloween. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, bye guys!